Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Reach Podcast. We are here for another great episode of Excellence in Black Business interview series. As you can see, I have some individuals on the line with me today. We're going to learn all about the Institute for Alex, which is Arts, Academics, Leadership, and Excellence, Athletics and Excellence. So we appreciate you guys for being on here with me today. And I'll give you guys an opportunity to let the world know who you are in just a moment. But as you know, I'm LeVar Ellis, the host and founder of the Reach Podcast, where every show reaches beyond the ears of the listeners. And so we want to just bring you excellence, like we said, and all of this month and all of next month, we are focusing on mental health and wellness, but also we are focusing on the business world. And so I want to give individuals who are in business for themselves the opportunity to come on and showcase their business, showcase their excellence, and represent it within our Black community. So today we have no other than the Institute for Alex. And Coach Leah, I'll start with you, and then we'll allow everybody to introduce themselves. So if y'all could just go down the line for me and let my viewers know who you are.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be joining you today. LeVar, thank you so much. And my name is Coach Leah Jean Denley, and I am the founder and chief collaborating officer of the Institute for Arts and Academic Leadership and Athletic Excellence, formerly the Fraser Foundation. And we were founded back in 1994 and had to put the program to bed a few times. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in the time that we'll have to get to know more about our organization later. But I'm just so honored to be here and to walk alongside your organization as well, LeVar. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very, very much. And then, Michael, we'll save you for last, man. We'll let the ladies go first.
Good morning. My name is Peyton Anderson. I am the Youth Health and Wellness Advocate for the Institute for Alex. I am also a college senior at Louisiana State University. I'm majoring in kinesiology. And I'm really excited to be on this call with y'all this morning.
Absolutely. And again, I appreciate you for being on. And you're my favorite already. We'll talk about more of that later. But no, go ahead, Mike.
All right, I'm Michael Lau II. I'm the Chief Programs Officer for Institute for Alex, as well as an HBCU grad. I'm a Hampton University graduate. And I'm excited to be on this call as well.
Cool, you guys. Appreciate the introductions, man. And we were going to give you a chance to talk from each one of your perspectives about what Alex is all about and what it brings to the table. And that's what I'd like to talk about next so that our viewers can get familiar with it. But, like I said, I'm teasing Peyton and teasing, you other two about she's my favorite because it just, Mike, I appreciate you reaching out and asking if she can join because this weekend I'm honoring all the males and the men's with a health and wellness walk is the tagline behind that. Mental health and wellness is what I'm focused on. And to have her here as the advocate for your company, she's now become the advocate, for me as well. So it's just amazing how God works, man.
See how this works, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're step in step with each other. So I definitely appreciate that. But if you guys, whoever wants to go first, if y'all could tell us just a little bit more about Alex and why it was created, what it means to you, and what your individual visions, and hopes are for the company.
Well, I'll go ahead and just start. We were originally formed back in 1994. Seems like a long time ago, but I honestly remember like it was yesterday. I know Mike's shaking his head. The Lord put it on my spirit to be able to do something. Well, I prayed for a way that I could get back to my community back in Minneapolis. I was born and raised on the South Side. We'll talk a little more about that later. I was afforded the opportunity to be recruited and offered scholarships by over 30 universities, and went away to college to play ball, and um, just had a very wonderful opportunity, and basketball opened just a lot of doors for me. So I wanted to find a way to give back, and speaking with a few mentors of mine, it's like, well, start a foundation, and I did, and so the Frazier Foundation was started, and through that, I had 6 young ladies who were high school scholar athletes at that time. And basically, we wrapped our arms around those individuals, saying that we would provide economic support, athletic support, and academic support to those young ladies. Well, what we found in the time that we were doing that is that there were a lot more things that they were needed, and that there were a lot more young women that could be reached. And so from that, then the Diamond in the Rough program was then founded. And we'll talk a little more about that later too. But as the years progressed and the organization has evolved, we now provide support not necessarily to individuals, but more so to entities. And so by being able to support academic entities such as school districts, by being able to support fine arts and performing arts entities like local programs, grassroots programs, mm-hmm. and also by being able to provide sports leagues and tournaments and people that want to provide large motor skill, insert that activity into what they're already doing. We have the expertise. And so our tagline is our insight and expertise helps make educated and informed decisions. And it just made sense to go away from the name Frazier Foundation and adopt a name that really ascribed to who we are and what we do. And when you think of the word institute, you think of kind of a brick and mortar many times, but really it's about having the culmination of thought leaders together in one place. And so that's how the name Institute for Arts and Academic Leadership and Athletic Excellence came to be.
Cool. Did you say thought leaders?
Indeed.
Okay. And it just reminds me of our brother, George Patrick. He said he's not a counselor or anything like that. World Youth Foundation, he said he's a thought leader, so I just found that very, very interesting. So I definitely understand that. Were you done before I moved to Peyton? But that was great info.
Well, I think we got a little bit more time, so I think we can roll out more of who we are and what we do organically, if that's okay.
Yeah,
through our conversation.
Absolutely. Okay. So Taylor, what did you? I'm sorry, got me calling her Taylor already. Peyton, what do you have to add?
I'm here with Alex as a looking on more of the athletic excellence portion of the program, mm-hmm. but I'm also here to provide help, as in I've taken a special interest into mental health and mental wellness, especially in the youth population that's coming up. And so I'm here to provide support for Coach Leah and Michael to give my insight, I guess, as the youth of our organization.
Absolutely. Look, I got to clap you up again. I love it. Mike, what do you have for us, brother?
Well, being the chief programs officer, honestly, I'm just trying to put together programs that can help people, succeed, achieve, and just kind of see their dreams to fruition, whether that be, just educationally, athletically. If you are somebody in an underserved community and you want more STEM resources, I'm trying to be the person that will give you that bridge to those resources.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Y'all have organized and developed. I love it. I love it. So, Coach, I know you were saying, what are some of the things that connecting with your organization that the people can look forward to, and who is your target audience?
So, like I was saying, our target audience is absolutely anybody who wants to foster best practices in the programming that they're already doing, or if they are wanting to start in an organization. I'm approached by a lot of folk who say, I have this business, have this idea, but I just don't know how to get it off the ground. And if it has to do with anything having to do with academics, anything having to do with athletic programming, anything having to do with and leadership, anything having to do with any of those types of things, we're able to kind of help that person lay the foundation, first of all, because if the foundation isn't firm, then everything else will crumble that you try to build upon it, right? So, so kind of do some checks there, if once they're talking about their idea, kind of having some checkpoints. Okay, so what's going on with the foundation? Do you have your mission statement in place? Do you, what are your goals? And so that's kind of our target audience is who are you that is either wanting to kind of maybe not necessarily rebrand, but take whatever you have to the next level, or I'm looking to start something. I've got this great idea, but I'm not exactly sure how to get it off the ground. And what I've found in my years, and it's been over 30, I know it don't look like it, but where I've been in this space, you have a lot of programs and they're floundering, or they're doing it what I call the wrong way and for the wrong reasons. And at the end of the day, it hurts our young people. It hurts the constituents who they're saying that they want to serve. They're actually hurting and hindering the progress. Right. And we already know how, especially in the school system, how that affects the outcome. They're saying that they want to educate youth, but are you using the best delivery of instruction to do that? They say that they want to be there for the kids, but are you truly accessible? Do you have the processes in place so that you can, what I like to say, that you're beginning with the end in mind? Do you even know what that end is? So getting folks to think about those types of things as they're building their programs is very, very important. So if they're already thinking that way, then ultimately, as they're building their program, they should be able to get the desired outcome of, success for typically the younger people that they're trying to serve. And, it's just really important to me that we put our young people in the best place for their success. It's our responsibility as the elders to give them every opportunity, because at the end of the day, guess who's going to be running all of this? They are. Absolutely. And if we haven't provided the best information or the best way for them to get the information, then what are we doing? Why are we doing this? And again, I want to start a nonprofit. Really? Do you really? Do you really want to? Or I want to run this AAU team. Why? Yeah. Why do you want to do that? I have this. I'm a creative, but I don't know how to get my information to the public, and I have all these different. Okay, well, let's just back up, because the left brain, we know it's there and it's creative, it's doing its thing, but how can we kind of pivot just a tad to get the right side of how to organize your thoughts so that you can reach your desired outcome. So those are things that myself and our team of professionals and experts in their areas are able to provide to our clients as well. And I say our clients because And our clients are typically entities more so that they are individuals on the programming side. But we do also do career and life coaching. And right now I'm really focusing on the career and life coaching side, and have launched our career closet recently, and it's our elite executive coaching, and it does have a focus for female executives that work in male-dominated industries and women in small business that are startups. However, we have individuals on our team that can help anybody that would like career and life coaching.
Okay, and repeat that, because that's a perfect transition. I was getting ready to talk about a couple of things you had sent me. So let's talk about that career closet. What does that exactly mean to everybody that's listening again, so they understand that and how they can benefit from it?
Nice. So what we do is we say that we dress thought leaders from the inside out. And so when you're thinking about your career and what you're doing, you have a closet, you have your arsenal of things that you wear per se. And so wear being more of a figurative as opposed to a literal term. So what then constitutes your career? And so we want to help individuals understand why they're doing what they're doing, or maybe even if they should do something else. And when you're thinking about elite executives, females in particular, they have a certain, they're wired a certain way, which is why they have gone into the industries that they've gone in and ascended. You know, when you consider yourself elite, or anybody else considers yourself an executive, it means that you've achieved certain goals, achieved certain successes, and things of that nature. But like I say this myself, coaches need coaching. I even have a professional coach right now in Walter Bond, and we probably need to shout him out as well.
You just did it.
Shout out to Walter Bond, Shark Mindset.
Absolutely.
I Speak, all of that. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah. And that's important too. Mentors need to be mentored first. That's one of the things that I say. And not to cut you off, I want to hear a little bit from Peyton, and what that means to you as far as that career closet. And before we move on to that, did you say, Coach, specifically women, or only women, or it's for everybody, but your target, personally, is for the women? Is this for men and women?
Okay, great question. So as Walter would say, there are riches in niches, but my niche and my expertise is working with female executives in male-dominated industries. Okay. That's something that I've done on so many different levels, and so I can speak to it for sure from a personal standpoint. But most of my life, if not all of my life, I've been a female working in male-dominated industries, and I've been able to find a level of success in understanding the nuances of that. And so being able to then pass that on to other women that are facing different challenges or roadblocks, or within themselves or the perceived institution that they're in, that's where the niche is. However, like I said, we have myself as well as the other professionals on our team, on our dream team, as we like to call it. We can service and be a career and life coach for males and females.
Okay, great. And so, Peyton, hearing all that and being on the inside, what would you speak to the career closet part and your experience with Coach Leah, who's an outstanding person? How do you see it, and what would you tell anyone coming into the program?
Before you say that, LeVar, flattery will get you everywhere, by the way. So thank you. Okay.
Actually, my first conversation with Coach Leah was a coaching session. We met each other at Starbucks, and I was like, hey, I want to be a PT. And she was like, what does that mean? And I was like, I don't know, but I want to do it. And so I've had a wonderful experience. She's like, when I have a thought in my head, I just think of like what I want to do. And I didn't know how exactly I should get there, but she helped me like she connects me with people who could help me step up my game. She's told me things that I need to learn. I actually have a concussion protocol pulled up on my computer right now because I'm trying to further my education so that I can add it to my resume and step my game up as a younger person. And I think that it was a really cool experience. And now being on the inside, I think it's going to be cool because now I get to learn more tricks on how to help other people in this, which also can be used for my degree outcome. So I think it's a really cool program that we have because I really haven't seen any like this, especially geared towards women. And I'm pro women, so I love it.
Absolutely. And so, Mike, you're the chief program operator. So I know you have your hands in on this situation. Speaking specifically to the what is it? Closet. What is
Career Closet? Career Closet.
I'm sorry, the Career Closet. What would you add in regards to that particular program? Being that you are male, and we're trying to help the ladies.
Well, so the Career Closet for me is that's pretty much just kind of how I was brought up, So with the Career Closet, it's as near and dear as it is to Coach Leah, it's the same for me, because I'm able to see and help tend to the outcomes of women executives and their ascension. I'm super big on women, especially Black women, being able to ascend and having a platform and being able to do the things in their careers that they want to do. So the Career Closet being that vehicle per se is very important to me.
Absolutely. And guys, I mean, for all the listeners, we're looking at two young adults that are in a very serious line of work, because anytime you're helping another person, Coach, you said, I want to start an AAU team. Why? I want to start a nonprofit. Why? People just have ideas and they jump out there. And that's what I was pretty particular about when I started Dad Chronicles. I know why. I know what I need to do. And I was blessed because God gave me a vision and it was just plain as day, and so then, you have to implement those things. And so, it's always a journey and you have to stay diligent to your niche. I like that term is riches and niches. And so I can speak to that. I was all about the older men and the younger males per se. And then as time went on, I had to open it up, because I wouldn't meet Peyton. I wouldn't talk to Coach Leah if I, shut that door to the ladies to be part of Dad Chronicles. And that's one of the things that I find it's always the ladies that are really, really, really supporting. But then you find out that there are men that are doing these type of things. So shout out to you, Michael, just for, you taking your part in this whole situation, because I'm always trying to highlight, encourage, and motivate men to just be better. You know what I'm saying? Because it's my belief that if we step up a little bit more as men, then the world will be a whole lot better, and then the ladies wouldn't have to work as hard. Of course, they can have their visions and stuff like that, but it's my personal belief is we're here to lead more, so in doing so, you being the CPO, I really salute you for that. So that's just my take on that part. But getting back to the Career Closet. So are there certain or is there certain protocols, there are certain things that people have to go through, to put them in place where you want them to be? Is there a certain time frame, or is just kind of each step? I mean, each person, each individual is different.
So many times, if not all the time, there should be an individualized process, because everybody's different.
Absolutely.
And I think that's another reason why I feel like the Institute for Alex is unique in the fact that there's not a cookie cutter. You do this first, you pay this money, then you do this, and you do this, and you do this next. However, as far as, and it has to be done within a certain time frame. But the Career Closet has a three-step approach. And the first step is the self-assessment. And the self-assessment is really revealing. It really can help the person understand who they really are. Now, many times when you're in an executive position, over time you've done a lot of different things that have helped you to understand at that point in your career why or how you've gotten there. But the self-assessment offers an opportunity to dig a little deeper, do a deeper dive per se into the person of who they are, because ultimately how you react to situations is going to be more important than the situation itself. Make sense? Step 2 then requires a self-reflection, and a lot of times that self-reflection is relevant to the outcomes of the self-assessment, right? And so by being able to understand the skill within self-reflection, and I like to call it the art of reflection, that will help an individual to know when to change a way that you're approaching a situation. And sometimes if you get really, really skilled at it, on the dime, like if you see, how often have we been in meetings where the conversation has kind of gone into a completely different way than you expected it to go? And if that's not your desired outcome, so then how can you reflect on the situation, like almost in the moment, to kind of get it back to where you need it to be? And so that skilled self-reflection is a big part of that. And so we teach that. And then the third part is being able to authentically articulate your relevant goal setting. So we all say we have goals. Are they relevant? You know what I'm saying? And so, and then if you say yes, they're absolutely relevant. So then now how are you intentionally approaching those goals? And so we teach that. We teach how that person can reach that goal and be intentional in everything they say and do toward the goal. Hello.
We got a call coming in. Not sure if it's for us, but we're going to see.
Okay.
UT Radio. Yeah, what's going on, Coach? Let me see if I can put you on speaker here. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, okay, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I want to ask, about starting a nonprofit. I know you into the coaching part of it. Okay.
You said, what was your question, Coach?
Yeah, once you get into something like that, I want to start something as far as if nobody in Houston that starts, any kind of black baseball academy, as far as any kind of academy, to have from what I'm thinking about, getting the guys to go get looked at for colleges and stuff like that, making us come like a one-stop shop. We'll have everyone coming in, so as we'll look at, they staffed up and everything like that, but we'll get an academy to where that we can get them started college-wise, and that's what I'm looking into right now.
Okay, so if I understand, you basically want to have a baseball academy with a niche for our African-American young males to display their skills, I guess, work out and be displayed amongst the masses when it comes to the universities. Is that correct?
Correct, and we'll have, as far as getting them going and stuff like that. And I was looking around, I see there's a lot of, not in Texas itself, but in other states, upstate, they have that, but it's nothing black.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you calling in. Obviously, you're tuned in, and we're going to address that right now, but we'll get off the line so everything is clear. So we appreciate you calling in. We're going to address that question now.
Who is that?
That's Coach Brown. We were basically in the same Little League football. His son played with my son, Coach Alton Brown. All right, Coach, we appreciate you, brother.
Okay, all right.
All right. So yeah, in case you didn't clearly hear it, he wants to establish a, I guess, like he said, a baseball academy with the niche of African American males, so that way they can be displayed and looked upon by the colleges, by the masses, you know, and just have, I guess, an arena of African American baseball players. So my first question would be, is that something he can get with you guys to try to establish? Is that something you can help him cultivate in that fashion? Or if not, what would you suggest he do? And I'm gonna start with the CPO, Mr. Programs Man. What would you say?
All right. So, and actually, I used to work for a place exactly like that. One of my dad's good friends was a minor league baseball player, and so in Chattanooga, Tennessee, he established a place exactly like that. It was a little indoor baseball facility. It was right off of downtown, so that it was easily accessible for everyone. But the way that you cultivate something like that, you have to just make it available, and you have to have plans to be able to do that. I know one of the biggest problems with baseball specifically is just availability, the equipment, the facilities. And so with that, you have to be able to, you know, either one, provide transportation to a place that's like that, or two, put it somewhere where it will be available. Easily. So, if he wants to get with us on that, I would be glad to help him on trying to establish something like that.
Okay. Well, that answers both questions right there. Coach Leah or Ms. Payton, do you have anything to add to that?
So I'll add this. The framework of what he wants to do, we are able to literally break it all the way down. We help produce what's called a playbook, and so from beginning up to end, from the business plan all the way through the operation to the fruition of what they're wanting to do, we're able to help organize that, because so often, again, we have a great idea. We know what we want to do. We just don't know what the process is and the step-by-step things that need to happen step-by-step to get there. And so we absolutely can help with that and providing that. Additionally, and this is where I will want Payton to jump in too. Many times we forget about everything comprehensively, because these days with recruiting, you can't just have the best player, the best athlete. You also need to be able to provide that they're sound academically, that they're sound in their, we like to call it emotional intelligence, because coaching and being coached and being able to get instruction, being able to get the instruction and then be able to perform takes a level of emotional maturity, and we call it emotional intelligence. Yeah. And so comprehensively, you want to build that into your program. That's what's going to put your program above and beyond any of the others anywhere in the country. We have a cadre of friends that are doing just this all over the country, and so we are able to pull the best information for how they've been successful and how we were successful and when we first started our organization, and why many of our the girls that we're working with in our Diamonds program were recruited by everybody everywhere, because they knew once they signed that young lady that they were going to be successful in their program, and of course to help them win, but more importantly be successful in life. But with the emotional intelligence then comes, your mental health and wellness. So Payton, talk a little bit about why you know that that's so important.
Yeah, I was thinking that it's not only important to have a person who can hit the ball the farthest or run the fastest, that there's a whole brain behind it. And so with my research that I've taken a class for a mental preparation, health preparation class, and my focus was in mental health. And so you learn that it's important to be able to have someone who can stick to a schedule, whether that's a sleeping schedule, an eating schedule. You have to teach people how to sleep. I've learned that
I need to learn that again, please. Thank you.
Especially in younger people, adults, we tend to stay up all the time. But since we are younger, our brain does need sleep to function more than if I was 10 years older than I am now. And so a sleep schedule is something important. And so if you don't have like strict guidelines for these boys to follow, then it could more easily fall apart. Like sleep is something important. You need to teach them how to eat healthy, which means not going to the vending machine every day, drinking a whole bunch of water. Water is so important. And that's something that not people don't think about that side all the time. They're just like, oh, let me see how many deadlifts I can do right now. It's not only about the physical aspect. There is you have to cater to the whole body, not just the sport, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I love it. And we're going to call this commercial time. It's commercial time. And with the commercials.
Good, because my husband's trying to get my attention. I know we're live. He's trying to get my attention.
It's okay. It's okay. If you need to step out, go talk to him. It's fine. Like I said, this is just pure and raw. So at this point, what I'd like to do, and I guess, Michael, we can start with you or Peyton, either one, is let people know how they can follow you. If you have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I'd like for you to just let people know how to follow you. And I call this my commercial time, where you get to just tag yourself and do a little shameless self-promotion.
Okay. So on Twitter and Instagram, I have profiles specifically for Alex. They are both Mike at Alex, as well as my personal pages are just Mike Dwayne. And the Mike is spelled M-I-C, like microphone. So just M-I-C-D-E-W, right. M-I-C-D-E-W-A-Y-N-E or M-I-C-A-T-A-A-L-A-X.
All right. Give it to them one more time for the ones who just got on. One more time.
All right. So my business page is Mike at Alex, M-I-C-A-T-A-A-L-A-X, and my personal pages are Mike Dwayne, M-I-C-D-E-W-A-Y-N-E.
All right. And for those who are listening in, I'm scrolling the website where you can reach this magnificent group of people, which is www.coachleah.net. That will get you connected with the Institute for Alex. So Ms. Peyton, your turn.
Okay, so my Instagram is Peyton_Marie21. So that's PEYTON_MARIE. Oh my goodness, 21. And my Twitter is quarterback2121.
Quarterback. All right. And if you guys want to type it into the comments, you can, and I'm sure people will be able to see that as well. And then, Coach Leah, let's start with this. We'll go ahead, give your stuff, and then we'll move to the next thing I'm talking about. We'll keep it in line.
Okay, so you can definitely tell this is a multi-generational organization. So my Facebook is I've got two, and my personal Facebook is Coach Leah. I remember. Is it Coach Leah Jean Denley? Let's see. What is it? Yes, Coach Leah Jean Denley. I do have a few filters on there, so it may only allow you to follow. If I know we've made personal verbal conversation, or you've been able to text me or whatever else, and then I can accept your friend request there, or I can extend a friend request to you there. And then I have another that I primarily use for when I was coaching D1 ball, and it was primarily for my recruits and their families, and that is Leah Jean Marie Frazier Dixon. Frazier Dixon is my maiden name, but at one time somehow Facebook made you put your whole name, which I've been trying to change that, but that's another conversation. But either way, that's where I can be reached on Facebook. Many of my groups that I'm involved with, other Christian coaches, personal life coaches, many of my professional groups, I'm involved in very active there. So and that's on Facebook. My Twitter and Instagram are both at Coach Leah 40, at Coach Leah 40.
Okay.
And on LinkedIn, I'm becoming really active on LinkedIn as well, and that's Leah Jean Denley. You can find me there. And so a lot of my newer professional groups I'm a part of on LinkedIn. So I don't mess with Snapchat. I don't mess with TikTok. None of those other things.
None of TikTok.
I can't.
Right.
I can't.
So let's move to this magnificent shirt. If you'll lean back a little bit and let us see this shirt. You told me about it before we actually went on. Let's talk a little bit about your people and let's give them a shout out.
Well, first of all, people that know me know that I have to have some type of sparkle on every single day, whether it's my earrings or somewhere blinged out shirts. I mean, that's just, I have issues, y'all. It's just fine. But Trust by Tony and Keisha, I want to give a huge shout out to them. They are an organization based out of New Jersey. When I was coaching at Rider University, I met this wonderful family when I became a part of a church, started attending a church in Newark, New Jersey. And a few years later, they formed this company. And if you look at many gospel recording artists, they're repping Trust by Tony and Keisha. John Gray, who is, really built himself as a prolific and anointed preacher, pastor now of his own church in South Carolina. Mike, I don't know how close you are to that church, but you may want to drop in on them at some point. But I just wanted to rep them today. And as much as I can when I'm out and about or in the public, because one of the things that I want to say is you got to trust the process. Whatever the process is, you got to trust it. And so it speaks just so much joy to my life that I was, when they formed this company, I said, hey, I want some of that gear. I love the logo, and I just love the spirit behind how the company was built, and want this to be a daily reminder for my faith walk and my life walk. So thank you for that.
And we can find them on Facebook, Instagram, or do they have a website?
Oh my gosh, you can literally Google Trust by Tony and Keisha, and to find them, all their platforms. Yeah, they're very active on Facebook, Twitter. Oh, kind of a fun fact to know about them as well is that they have Tony Jackson is his name, has a first cousin who is also very active in the music and arts industry, which is the other reason why we connect so much, because we have so many ways that we like to help and promote others. So in the performing arts space, they have a first cousin who has been the musical director for the Grammys, BET Awards, been part of American Music Awards, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, so they know a lot about the industry for performing arts as well. So again, we are very connected to the work we do at the Institute for Alex. So
awesome. And so is there any other things that you would consider an announcement or a commercial you want to speak on? Because I'm gonna go into mine next, which ties into the next thing I want to talk about is you were talking about Houston Responds, and we'll talk about how that relates to your organization, and we'll get back into it. But before we do that, I'd like to go ahead and put up this link, which is my Walk for Life. So all of my viewers who are watching, you can actually go to this website. This is the website we've created for the Walk for Life, which is this Saturday in honor of Father's Day. And on this website, it is amazing. We have tabs just for about anything as it relates to mental health and wellness. On the home page, we actually have the registration. So we're still taking registrations until Saturday morning. And on Saturday, you have all day to do that. We encourage you to join individually or create a team and get joined with the walk. And then we have our mission statement, which talks a little bit about Dad Chronicles and why we do what we do. And then we have tabs for mentoring. We have tabs for the 10 essential health checks that men should do. And then we have videos for them. So we have information to back that up. And shout out to Ms. Ronnie Gabriel. I'm not sure if she's looking right now, but when I tell you our World Youth Foundation sister is amazing. She has helped me every step of the way. So I appreciate you, sister, and our queen, and helping me getting this up and going. And then we have our community sponsors and resource page. So the resource page is really the biggest part of this, because we can talk about mental health and wellness. We can speak about self-care, but if we don't give people somewhere to go and give them some outlets, then what are we really talking about? So the website has been designed to be the anchor behind the walk and be the space that you can go to. And we're going to display all the pictures. The t-shirts will be in, and get an opportunity to go out and do your self-care. You know, just go and do the 5K, which is 3.1 miles on Saturday. Post the pictures and just hashtag DMM2020, which is Dad, Males, and Mentors 2020. It's our first inaugural walk. We're going to do this every single year. So I'll put this tab back up later on. And then if for any reason you don't catch that, you can always keep it easy. Go to dadchronicles.com. That's my official website for my organization. So I'm going to talk to you guys more about that. But let's jump back. Commercials are over now. Let's jump back into Institute for Alex, and let's go back into Houston Responds. And I know you mentioned them and how that relates to your organization.
Well, the main way that it relates to our organization is that Houston Responds is what I quote unquote call my day job. And I serve as a coalition advisor for Houston Responds. But one of the things that I've been blessed to be able to do is really be able to work where I'm gifted spiritually at this point in my career. As I say that I do career and life coaching at this stage of the game. I've been afforded this opportunity to work with Houston Responds, and Houston Responds is their main focus is to unite and empower churches for disaster and emergency response. And I add emergency into the written statement for disaster, because we know that disasters are emergencies, and disasters are also ever evolving. And so for Houston Responds, it was founded 2 years ago at the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. You know, the executive director, Tommy Rawson, had a vision to see what could he do to provide support. And so it was put on his heart to start Houston Responds by building coalitions. And coalitions, which we have about 18 at the moment around the entire Houston Metroplex, are groups of churches that have decided we're going to work together to help at time of disaster, right? Well, we're not in the midst of any hurricanes at the moment, thank God, even though we're getting ready for it. That's part of our readiness program. But we are in the midst of two disasters, which are the pandemics. And there are two. First being COVID-19, and now racial bias. And so we, Houston Responds has made a statement in regards to both. Their response to COVID-19 has been to provide support to churches as they're dealing with church survival, reopening, and we are a good hub for information in regards to what churches and communities can do at such a time as this in regards to that. My main responsibility is, at the moment, is our Masks for All project. I'm on the mask task force. The civic leaders and the mayor asked that Houston Responds takes the lead in providing 1 million masks to the underserved in our community to building 1,000 churches. And so that's our goal. We're well on our way, and we are partnering with several organizations and churches to provide distribution for masks. And there's just all different types of ways that you can work with us in walk alongside us in providing masks. And if you go to HoustonResponse.org/masks for all, you can learn more about that. And I am responsible for our distribution site. So if you have an organization that wants to distribute masks, you register on our site, we get the ball rolling. I want to promote that event on our website. And our website is very, very active with people that know that it's kind of the go-to place for information in regards to the faith-based community and actually the community at large. So that's how the main connection between Houston Response and Alex is by just virtue of the fact that I work for them. However, Alex has also partnered and donated to Houston Response in the Masks for All efforts. We feel very strongly at Alex that we do our part and our share to support the initiative. And those are things that we're going to do, and we're not this big, huge organization that has all this, money just flowing that we can do stuff at the moment, but we know it's coming. But we do what we can for where we are, and we will continue to do that. And to a point where it's truly, I don't want to say it hurts, but sometimes when you feel like you can only give this much, but you really can give more, we're at that point. We really can give more. And
Absolutely.
Whether that's with our time, our resources, that's where we are with Alex. And we want to be that role model organization to show other organizations that when you're very mindful and intentional with the service you provide, that's how you should roll, basically. So,
Absolutely.
But I'm really honored to work for Houston Response. The other individuals, which many are pastors, but not everybody, that I work with on a day-to-day basis. It's one of those things that when I wake up every morning, it's not that I have this job that I have to go to that I don't necessarily want to be there. Every person in this organization is amazing, and so I'm really grateful to be in that position. That not only can I operate my own organization, but I can also work for an organization that supports who I am, and we all support each other in the goal of organizing and building coalitions.
Absolutely. And so one of the last points I wanted to talk about to make sure that we covered everything that you shared with me is that diamond in the rough part as far as the talking notes. So I'd like to speak on that. And then the last thing that I'd like to get into, now we've talked completely about Alex, is for you, Michael, so you can be thinking about it, is the pandemic. What has that meant to you personally and in business? And then most importantly, right now, how do you feel as a young Black man in the times that we're living in and what the injustices mean to you? And then also, Peyton, the same thing for you, because, they're killing our young African-American girls as well. And, Coach, you can speak to that too, but I really would love to hear from our younger generation, and what that means, so people can really understand. I hope that we all really, really, really understand that we need to stand stronger, stand firmer, and try to make and be that change that we want to see. But all of you guys, let's talk about the diamond in the rough part, because I don't know and the audience doesn't know. What is that as it relates to Alex or whatever the situation is?
Okay, so first thing I want to do is I kind of want to show this. Okay, our very first inaugural program, and I'll send you a picture of it, LeVar, that you could post later.
Okay.
But we turned 20 years old on June 4th.
Oh, man. Awesome.
And so,
congratulations.
Thank you. So this is our first annual Diamond in the Rough All-Star Game and Celebrity Shootout. And if I can take a moment, I just would love to just read the names of all the young women in honor to them that were part of the very first Diamond in the Rough program.
And before you do that, Coach, is there, besides putting up Diamond in the Rough, is there a website, or this is all part of CoachLeah.net? Because I want to make sure, you know, we have something that people can reference, or is just having this scrolling at the bottom, is that good enough?
That's good for now, because there's a Diamond in the Rough tab that we'll reactivate, because we're actually going to list this in the names, and it's in our website as well. It's on our website as well. Okay. Cool. Just very quickly, but Kristen Ambrose, Jessica Ash, Tia Battle, Rochelle Bell, Anika Boyd, Nakia Carlisle, Charity Slade, Nadia Eldeeb, Tanisha Gilbert, Natalie Hopkins, Maya Johnson, Rachel Jobs, Desiree Jones, Jill Calvick, Phyllis Matthews, Tierra Medlock, Randy Meisner, Hannah Pelto, Lauren Podratz, Farmo Roberts, Tanisha Scott, Takara Stevenson, Crystal Taylor, Michelle Thomas, Tisa Thomas, Kate Townley, Joanna Williams, and Vel Williams. Now I get emotional when I read those names out, and I'll tell you why. And so 20 years have passed, which means that all of these young women are now professionals of their in their own right, have finished school. Many of them are doctors, they're coaches, they're educators, they're executives. And many of them have their life work is now, they're paying it forward. They're giving back to their community now. And I like to feel like the Diamond in the Rough program, which started out as just a weekend where we brought these young women together and built into a year-round program. That first weekend, we brought them on campus at the University of St. Thomas in St. Paul, Minnesota, and showed them what it was like to be on a Division I basketball program. And so these were high school girls, middle school and high school girls that played varsity basketball. And they weren't necessarily the best players in the area, but our committee that went out to select, our selection committee that went out to identify these young women, we all got together and decided that these young women had what we call the eye of the tiger and would benefit from the experience, right? And so what ended up happening is the All-Star game, we changed the name from All-Star to Showcase. And then we turned it into a year-round program by not just having the weekend portion, but then year-round we would do workshops and we would do more community service, because we did do community service that weekend. We did a media workshop that weekend. We had a training table. If you know our sports people out there, you know what that is. Specific things that you eat at a specific time so that you can have optimal performance physically based on what you ate, you know, so they learned about all of those types of things at that level, because I wanted to expose them to what are the possibilities. Being able to travel on a you know, with great travel accommodations, sleeping accommodations, you know, that on the Division I level, you got the kind of the best of the best. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody decided to play at that level or go to a Division I school, but at least they got a taste of what it was like. And so I had to put the program Diamond in the Rough to bed several times, because once I went back into Division I coaching, there was a direct conflict of interest. I would have been breaking all kinds of NCAA regulations if I'd have continued to run my program. And so the Frazier Foundation and the Diamond in the Rough had to go to bed several times when I went back into Division I coaching, collegiate coaching. But we're back. And when I say we're back, our Diamonds program is ever evolving. We're looking to have some portion of what it does reinstated back in Minneapolis and potentially other parts of the country, because at one time our Diamonds program was even in New York and California. And so we look to see how we can provide support in some way to young women through the Diamond program at however that looks. And I'll let Mike speak to that a little bit as well. But
you just provided them with amazing opportunities. Sounds like that exposure is something that's of the utmost importance, because I like to talk about how if you live in Houston all your life, you think Houston is the world, and there is so much more, out here. And so that's just great. And it gives people the opportunity to see what they could venture off into. So, I definitely salute that, and I'm glad you bringing it back. But so Mike, I know she said you would speak a little to that, and then if you could talk about the effects of COVID-19 as a business owner and a business operator, and then of course your thoughts on just the injustices that we've been experiencing.
Well, to start with Diamonds, as she was saying, when she started, it was 20 years ago. I was 6. So, but
you got your age out now. Good.
Yeah. I'm a really young guy, but I was a part of those things. I was at those events. I was, running around those gyms, seeing all the same experiences from those young women, seeing how they were inspired. A lot of them became my mentors, people I can, call out, reach toward, so that they can help me become a better man, make my decisions with, strong, powerful women in mind as well. And so for me, Diamonds was really important because it got to give me, good, strong Black women in my life that weren't necessarily, my mom or my sister, but,
and hey, Mike, for anybody who hasn't caught on yet, what's your mom's name? You tell us your mom's name?
Leah Jean Denley.
Oh, all right. For those who didn't catch on, mother and son combo right here. I love it.
Right. But all in all, the Diamonds program is also near and dear to my heart, and something that I hope I can, hit the ground running and, take that to, whatever level it needs to be in this new time and space, as well.
Absolutely.
But in regards to COVID, COVID has been especially tough for me. I'm not only am I, a college grad, I'm a recent college grad. I graduated, last spring. So, for me, it was kind of hard just because, I understand and I feel for young people who are just now graduating and they're trying to figure out what to do, where to go next. They're trying to get on their feet, get established within, exactly the, what they were going to school for. And with COVID, that put a halt on a lot of things. If say you wanted to start that AAU program, nobody's playing this spring. So it's really tough because it's like, you put all that time in and then, God just put a halt on it all. It was like, look, stay in the house. Maybe you need to, you might have been jumping the gun, recalibrate, figure out exactly what you need to do. And then, when time is right, everything that is supposed to be for you will be for you, but you just need to halt for now. Absolutely. And, that was big with me. I kind of made some hasty decisions, in the, just kind of with moving and, a lot of things, but I've used this time to recalibrate. And that's also what brought me to Alex and programming for Alex, because it was a time for me to really think about what I could do and maximize on my talents. And so that's one of the things that COVID did for me. That's positive, but the negative is, it's really hard if you know, what you thought you were going to do, you know, doesn't pan out.
Right.
So what I want to say to young people out there is just, you know, keep, you know, for one thing, keep the faith, and as well as, you know, make sure that you're continually working toward, you know, whatever goals that you have. Just because, you know, there's a pause on everything that's going on outside doesn't mean that there's a pause on, you know, your goals.
Absolutely. That's powerful words, man. So I appreciate it. And we'll pause there to keep the continuity. We'll come back to the injustices. We'll speak on that. But Peyton, I'm not sure how long you've been with them, but if you have any words on the Diamonds program and what it could potentially mean to you if you haven't been around it, and then if you'll tell us about your thoughts on COVID.
Well, I've been with Alex, the Institute of Alex, for 2 days now. But the Diamond program, I'm excited about it. But the Diamond program, it seems really cool. I would have loved for that experience, just because I feel like when you have you're like, I'm going to be a professional, whatever player, you don't think about all that has to go into it. And so giving kids the experience of, oh, I have to wake up at 7 a.m. every day to train. I have to eat this, this, and this. I have to put in this many hours. Really opens your eyes. And I feel like that is an awesome experience. And I wish that I could have been a part of a program like that. But I hope that I can help somebody be a part of a program like that, because I think that would be really cool and sounds amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what is your experience? What has been your thoughts on this whole COVID deal?
Oh, COVID. It has made things especially hard. This is my senior year, so I'm trying to find internships, and the field that I'm going into is very person in person. You're going out, meeting people, touching people. It's very active, and so that has put kind of a halt on what I've been trying to do. But I have learned that just because I had a whole plan for myself this summer, and just because that whole plan changed doesn't mean that I can't still work on myself. I can't still improve my talents. I can still help people, even if that means like I might not be doing PT at the moment. I might be helping out the Alex organization or other things like that. It just changed my perspective on exactly what I wanted to do. And so although it is not what I was looking forward to, I think it kind of helped me take a step back and look out and see, like, what do other people need right now, and help me figure out what I need to do.
And you say your senior year. This is senior year of high school or senior year of college?
Senior college.
All right, tell your age a little bit too. All right, cool.
LeVar, if I can jump in, one of the interesting things about COVID for our programming is that for the Diamonds program, I had been visiting Minneapolis and was planning to put together this big, huge 20-year reunion event that was going to happen this summer, and getting re-engaging my sponsors, re-engaging the individuals that would be a part of it. And then things just kind of shifted. And this was before COVID. I would say around September, October, things shifted. And I couldn't explain it, but I was just really just okay. And that was because, of course, the Holy Spirit knew that COVID was coming, right? So it was like, don't spend your energy there. I needed to spend my energy with Houston Response and some of the other things that were coming down my in my forefront. I had to focus on those things. And so it was really interesting. I was frustrated for a while, and then I just let go. And then sure enough, this is why, because that was not going to happen. So why spend time, energy, money, everything on that when it wasn't going to happen? Well, the good thing about COVID about that is we're going to be able to put together an amazing virtual celebration. And we'll probably be able to engage a lot more of the Diamonds, because they're all over the country now. Absolutely. Many of our sponsors are in different places as well. So we're going to be able to do something probably even more grand using technology and using this virtual space, much like what we're doing today. And then secondly, in regards to Peyton reached out to me and said, hey, I'm looking for an internship. And I said, well, if you're willing to think a little more outside the box, as we at Alex are teaching people how to pivot, how do we use this time to maximize what we do? And so the first things that I did for Peyton was I gave her some assignments, and I told her, well, right now you have the opportunity to be a lot more robust in what you're offering, even though you can't do a lot of things hands-on right now. And so we literally we have brought her on as an intern with us. Her focus will be youth health and wellness as an advocate. However, through the process of in her internship, she's going to have to do a lot of different things in regards to where she wants to go as a physical therapist. So we will be exposing her to chiropractors. We will be exposing her to other licensed physical therapists. We will be exposing her to events because, believe it or not, places are opening up at different places across the country. So a lot of the advisement, you wouldn't necessarily have to be in the actual venue, but you have to be ready for any type of on-call calls, much like how doctors are doing right now. They're on call with their patients. And so we're going to expose Peyton to those types of realities right now. Why? Because that's what COVID has afforded us. And for her to be able to master that is going to be putting her leaps and bounds ahead of the game. And that's what internships should do. And that's the other thing that we can do for organizations, is we can show organizations how to provide the best framework for internships. Because internships should not be where you get a person to come and volunteer, you get free labor for your organization for them to do your busy work. That's not fair. And you should never do that. However, there are many interns that have that experience. I will never, on my watch, that will never happen. And what I want to also teach other organizations is how to build the best type of internship so that you have people ready for Fortune 500 companies, or they can be ready to run their own businesses and organizations. And going back to what Mike was saying, one thing that I learned early in my career is if I provided the best programming for other young people, my kids would be able to be a byproduct of those great programs. And so I absolutely I have 3 kids. Mike's my middle and my only son. But I had all my 3 kids involved with all the different types of programs that I ran over these past 30 or so years. And so they got to see a lot. They got to learn a lot about how, I'm proud to say that many of my programs are award-winning, nationally recognized programs. And so when it comes to knowing how to put those things together, so that, and for me, the desired outcome are successful young people that will be productive citizens in their own right when they become adults. And again, I get emotional, not for just like the women that are in the Diamonds program, but of course, my own children. My eldest daughter has her PhD and is a professor at Cornell now. Michael is taking a gap year, and I talk about it all the time. He's a future politician and attorney. This time right now with COVID has afforded him the opportunity to get some really great skills under his feet in programming and grassroots community-based type things that are going to help him with his overall goals in the future. I hope that he always, it's a family business, hopefully always is part of Alex. But if he decides that he doesn't have time and he needs to pursue some other things, I will understand that. I'll cry a little bit, but I will understand that. But that's what it's all. That's what it should be all about, is being able to
get you with that guilt trip.
But being able to provide opportunities for young people to see us doing it the right way for the right reasons. And I want to give you a shout out with Dad Chronicles. From the very first time I learned about Dad Chronicles, I have been a fan. And I think I shared this with you, but when I was running the National Youth Sports Program 20 years ago as well, 25 years ago, I we had a male-dominated staff, and that was intentional because I needed our young people, the kids that were in our program, mostly were inner city kids. Many of them were from single-parent households, primarily single mothers. And we needed our young people, the boys, little boys, and the little girls, to see strong black men, strong men in general, that were providing just great educational instruction, athletic instruction, as well as how to deal with conflict. We had a conflict resolution program that was way ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Diversity, inclusion, and being able to understand how to resolve issues.
Right.
We taught young people how to do that, and they heard it from a male's voice, and that was so important. And so anyway, that's why my
that's perfect. That's the next program I'm working on. We can get together on that, and I'd like to welcome Michael into the Circle with Dad Chronicles, and we can talk about that particular, implementing that, because that's something that's very important, which leads us to and out of respect for time, guys, we have about 5 minutes or so left, but that conflict resolution is something that's of the utmost importance on so many different levels. But with your athletic side, I purposely didn't approach the athletics per se, but there's so much that you learn from athletics, and I chose to go with chess. And so in doing so, because we have so many, I was like, what can I do that's different? You know what I'm saying? And give them something to really challenge them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you introduce them to just the regular sports, not taking anything away from that, but my purpose and intent was to do something a little different. And you introduce a little black kid to a chessboard, it's like, man, what is this? But then when you take the time and you explain it to them and you explain those steps and the processes, they get just as excited about football and basketball. They do that with chess as well. And it's been a joy to see that, but my point in saying that is that they're learning the same things. And sports overall is the absolute must have, and, teamwork, and, not being selfish, and, having a team driven goal and doing your part for the team and help you be selfless. That's my part with what I'm teaching with these kids. And then to transition into all the injustices that we're dealing with, and each one of you guys, y'all can speak on that briefly, but it's important that, you teach our kids to have a backbone. You have to stand, and you have to have a backbone, and then you have to operate in a certain way, and it's just sad, the things that we've been seeing, to every day wake up to there's just something else. But in closing, just any last remarks, speak a little bit on the injustices and what you would tell our youth, and what type of change, holistic or just within yourself, that you think this has caused you to want to make. I'd like to leave our people with that. And Mike, I'd like for you to go first.
All right. Well, for me right now, I'll say that I'm emotionally numb. It's been real hard for me to kind of process trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma on a daily basis like this, because, I look up and I'm like, man, that could be me next. So, for me, it's just, it's frustrating, but it's like, I'm sick of I'm sick of just looking up and it's like everybody's like, oh, kumbaya, black people are going to persevere. We always do, because I'm looking at the expense of it, and it's not adding up to, what we have to go through all the time. So for me, I'm just kind of, I'm sick of it, and I'm ready for, just, that conflict resolution that you were just, discussing, as well as just, finding ways for black men to, affect their families in better ways as well. Having healthy relationships, healthy conversations, making sure that the women in their family have voices that, aren't muted as well. And, because, for us to want to be strong men, we have to have, strong women as well. And we can't just have strong women when we're about to go, at somebody else. We have to acknowledge and we have to take accountability for our role in that. And so,
Yeah, Mike's speaking to my heart right now, man.
With that being said, I just want to, I holistically want to, be that change as well.
Absolutely. Mike, appreciate those words.
The Institute for Alex has a statement in regarding the death of George Floyd that Michael penned. So if you have a chance, you can see that on our landing page of CoachLeah.net. And I'm just so proud that you verbally articulated that just now, but the written words that you wrote, Michael, are so. And publicly, I want to thank you again for being transparent and doing the thoughtful work you did on our statement. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw that and I read it, and it's nice to know that it came from him, man. So that was very, very, very powerful. So Peyton, let's get your words.
I think that this whole thing is crazy. It wasn't brought to my attention until recently that this shouldn't be the norm, because somebody would be like, oh, such and such happened. I'll be like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. And that shouldn't be a phrase that I should be saying. Like, I shouldn't be like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's just the way things are. And so recently, I guess my eyes have been opened more than usual. And so it like breaks my heart that somebody would tell me, oh, did you hear about this case? And I'll be like, who's this? Is this another name? Is this an old name? I can't keep track of the names. The fact that there's so many names that are happening daily, weekly, that I'm just like, it baffles me that this is where we are. But at the same time, I'm trying to use this as like an encouragement, as even though that this is happening, I still want all of us to put our best foot forward. I don't want us to give up on our dream. I still want us to fight. And I know that it's hard now and that it kind of feels like we should just give up. I don't. That's the last thing that I think we should do. And I feel like our fighting is working. It's not working as fast as I would like it to, or as well as I would like it to, but we're taking baby steps. And I feel like if we keep pushing, keep fighting, that hopefully we'll get to a good place where we need to be.
Absolutely. I definitely follow those sentiments. Coach, did you want to add anything before I close us out?
My heart sings. And to be able to have these two young people as part of our Alex team, as well as the other team members that we have,
right?
Richard Walker and Jennifer. Oh my goodness! Why my names are escaping me? You guys are just taking my breath away.
Okay. It's okay. Take your time to look it up.
Oh my gosh! Who's our?
And while you're doing that, I'll just
Norman Houston.
Oh, okay.
We've got Jennifer Love Evans, who is our lead project manager. She's amazing. World Youth Foundation is one of our main partners as well. And in Court Furniture, Jason Clark. Their supportive housing, we haven't even gotten into, housing disparities, which goes with racial disparities and economic disparities. We can get it. You're going to have to buy this back. LeVar, you're going to have to buy this back. There's so much. There's so much.
Absolutely. And I told you the point of me, so Mike and Peyton, so you'll know, I salute you guys for being so creative. So this is just a testament to me and what I'm doing to be creative. I created this podcast, one, because I was asked to, but it was like, why are you creating the podcast? So my why to this is to be the voice for the community and give people the opportunity to be heard on a different platform. And so this is just one of the things that I want to do. So I've already told your mom at any point in time she needs the platform. It's available and it's open. I'm probably going to have to get some more days or something, but I only do it on Thursday. So, it gets tough. And but, we you already know, Coach Leah, you just let me know and we'll work it out. But guys, I appreciate you guys being bold enough to get on here and speak and tell us all about the Institute for Alex. You guys are doing some amazing things. I like how you've incorporated our younger generation. You guys are the future. Mike, you continue to be strong, being the awesome young man that you are. And, I wanted to give you a chance. Matter of fact, go ahead. If your mom wasn't on here, what would you tell your mom? Just act like she's not here. What would you tell your mom, man? What flowers are you going to give your mom? And I'm going to give you about 2 minutes or so because we got to get off the line. And Peyton, thank you as well.
Well, honestly, it's just, I'd like to thank her so much because she's been such an influence on everything that I do, from me wanting to play ball to, the types of schools that I wanted to go to the types of friends I wanted to have. Like, it wasn't that she didn't allow me to be around certain people. I just didn't want to be around those people because of the type of light that she gave to me, and then it shined through me. Yeah. But I also attracted a lot of people because of the type of person that my mom is. And I appreciate her for that. I appreciate for having her gift of gab. I appreciate so much about her. She's been, so influential to me that it's just, it's been really great for me to be able to work with Alex and be able to help in the same ways as her. And so that's me hitting the ground running.
Absolutely. And, the reason I had you do that, man, because in short, my story is I was raised by a single mother and my sentiments are exactly the same. And I know if she's not watching right now, she's going to definitely watch later. She's going to add 1,000 comments and you'll see Linda Montgomery commenting on this later on. And that's my mom. Shout out to her. She's an amazing woman. But just in closing, guys, I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to do that. And Ms. Peyton, is there anything you wanted to leave us with before we close?
I'd just like to say thank you for having me on this call. It was really inspiring. I love what you're doing. This is my first time hearing about your podcast.
Thank you.
And I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
And also, I love what you're doing with your Dad Chronicles.
Absolutely. And I'm going to definitely be talking to the both of you. Trust and believe that. Coach, if you allow me to just steal them just for a program or for a moment, I want to get them involved. And, it's collaborative work. So definitely want to do that. And then I'm just going to put the walk up one more time before we get out of here. Because mental health and wellness, again, shout out to you, Peyton. You're still my favorite person of the day. You guys get registered for the Walk of Life. But it's mental health and wellness is what we're focused on. And that's taking place this Saturday. It's a virtual walk. You walk in your own space. You walk the track. You walk the treadmill. Get you a group of people. And you're going to be doing the hashtags and all of that stuff. And then visit this website.